Hey everyone, welcome to Devlog number 6. So we've got a lot to cover, and first of all, we are releasing a new version this week called Clarity, our C release. And so if you're in the closed alpha, you'll have access to that right now. Just download the latest client, and we've also sent out more invites as of today. And so we're very excited for you to check it out. If you're not in our closed alpha just yet, then please be sure to sign up, and we will get you onboarded shortly. So one of the first things you'll notice whenever you download the new application is that we start you off with a tutorial. And so, of course, we've been building a ton of different stuff. We also have a docs.themirror.space page that we are cooking up. And we'll walk you through some of the basic features of the mirror whenever you first join so that you can become a bit more acquainted with what you're building. So whenever you enter a new space, you'll also see a tutorial here, and we can quickly tab through this, but you'll notice more goodies, which we won't cover just yet in this video, but definitely recommend logging in and checking out the tutorial space. And, excuse me, the tutorial as you walk through. If you ever need that again, just hit B to go to build mode, click help, and we can walk you through that tutorial again. And we'll be adding much more of these as we go in the future. One more thing you'll notice is that we have reworked a lot of the main menu flow. So when you first log in, you'll see this, but now we also have a My Spaces tab, and we have a Discover tab where you can discover other worlds that people are building. We also are working on a play mode, so you can build your world in real time with your friends and then publish it from there. And that's a game that people directly log into and just play. And then you also be able to set permissions for that so that some people can build with you. You have a public build space, even if you wish. Say you want to build a game while streaming to your Twitch audience, for example, and they can actually build it with you in real time. And then you can also publish that game. And then, of course, as people play it A to Z, kind of like a Call of Duty match, while this is a bit more of like a Gary's mod building it at the same time. So also on My Spaces, you'll notice that you can now click into spaces and then edit those space details. And so that could be, for instance, uploading a new image. That can be updating the description if I add a few exclamation marks here. Could be that, say I take this Aurora screenshot. Excuse me, that one is a bit bigger. Let me add this clarity one. Now I'll just update this image here, hit save, and then that'll automatically do that. Nothing too crazy there. And these are actually some features we already had on the React app. So we're building quite a bit with having both a React app and a full-blown Godot app as well. And so if I head over to the the web app, I can now refresh, and now you'll see this same clarity release image updated. And so we want to make sure you have that easy transition between the web app that you can just grab a link very quickly, such as right here, and then send this link to your friends so they can see your space on the web, and they can quickly jump into it from there just by clicking launch. Also, on the Discover tab, you'll notice that you can now search for, well, you have been able to search, but now you can search for users in space. And so we've added presence features. These have been requested by our early alpha users who have been playing. Of course, the world is vast and you can create a lot of different stuff in the mirror. So you want to be able to see what someone else is building. So we can see that we have another alpha user in this world right now, this Mars test zone. And so we can now just hop in there and we see he's building something that is glowing quite a bit. He's actually working on a feature that is upcoming for our next devlog video, which if you're in the alpha, you will know about it, but be expecting that for our next devlog after this clarity release. Another quick thing that you will notice whenever you hop in here real quick is that if I enter build mode and I go over to the top right, I click users, now I can actually see where other users are in world. So for example, I could focus on this user over here. And so now, because this world is, we have a good sized world to start. And of course, we'll allow this to be modified in the future. So you could actually create an entire open world game, create your own RPG, whatever you wish. This is just the base template that we're starting with right now. And we'll quickly add more in the future. But because that world is quite big, and for example, you could be just, let's say you are way over here on the other side of the map. Let me teleport here real quick. And so now while I'm building my part of the world over here, you might want to say, hey, what are my friends doing? Very much like you're in Minecraft, you're building a game, and you might want to know where your users are so you can quickly focus on them, copy their user ID or display name, and see what they are working on. So that's a cool feature we're excited to release. On the texturing side, one thing that was highly requested that we added was better UV mapping. And so, for example, I'm working with a just small rectangle mesh right here, and I uploaded a mirror logo, so I'm going to drag that on there. And of course, well, this is mapped that way UV wise, and that's not really helpful. So let's fix that. Now what I can do is scroll down to the material side on properties and then edit the UV scale. And so I can just edit this as we wish. And so I'll just make that kind of big, So it covers up everything else. And then I can just offset that scale there. And now we have a centered mirror logo. So that's looking much better there. Let me just adjust that a bit so it's kind of good. And bam, there you go. Now you can actually much better upload any type of image that you wish, be that for a billboard, uh, some texture siding on a building, for example, or if you're building a car or a spaceship or whatever you want, you'll definitely need better UV mapping. So we're happy to have that in the mirror now. In this update, we've also made a bunch of performance improvements. And previously, we had some issues, for example, with multiple object selection and dragging a bunch at once. And so we fixed that. And so, for example, I am building a part of a base over here. And so I can just select all of this at once. And I'm actually going to go up a bit to select all this at once and then just do a click and drag. And now we are good to go there. And so no problem at all. No more lag, thankfully, there. So now I can just quickly duplicate this and then keep on building. So if I wanted to add that there, and then let's just continue to expand this base section here, then I'm going to just drag this again with a shift drag. That was a previous feature we added. Shift drag on any gizmo handle, and that'll automatically create that there. And so now I have this part of the base section. I can continue to build from there. And so you probably noticed too that we have some additional assets. And so big thank you to Quaternius for those. And we make sure we give you credit too. If you want to get to those assets, though, we have thousands of assets on the platform so far. We also added a new sidebar filter feature. So we can now just go to category and search for any category we want, say space, for example. So now I'll just filter by space. And here we have a bunch of assets, such as these building tools here or these building pieces, such as for the space type themed base. Of course, we'll have many other types there. And we'll be creating many in different styles as well. So we've got a lot more to come there. And this gives you a lot of building blocks that you can start to build games and worlds with. So we hope you enjoy these. And as I mentioned on the Quaternius side, we want to give credit where credit is due. Excuse me. And so you'll see that for all of these, we do mention quaternius.com. So thank you so much for those. Be sure to support Quaternius as well. Also, all around, you'll notice tons of performance improvements, such as better hover states, a lot more snappiness. Things will respond much more quickly, such as just even simple accordions to clicking around to text highlights to pagination, for example. And so we hope this is pretty helpful. We also expanded the sidebar so you can see more assets at once. Previously, it was just showing a few, so that wasn't very fun. So we've got a lot of different improvements here, and we really hope you like them. So with that, last thing I'll add you with is a bit of a teaser. As I mentioned, there is something that we now have an app that only our closed alpha users can see and use at the moment. But if I go out of build mode here and I'm just running around in world, you'll now notice that there's a floating E to interact. And so key part, if I interact with that, you'll now see a script print in the top right. And we have more to come. With that, be sure to subscribe, stay in the loop for everything we're building in the mirror, and we'd love for you to join us. Definitely apply on our closed alpha application. We'll be onboarding more users shortly, and also on our YouTube channel and on our Reddit, we'll keep you posted on our latest updates. Thanks again, and take care.